Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me today. I hope it's treating you well, hope you're having a good day. I thought we'd have a look at masking. A few people have been asking about the best ways and various different techniques for masking. So I've been having a bit of a play and I've sort of come up with this type of design. I've been using what I've got on my desk and I thought this was just a lovely, fun design to create. Now I've gone a bit mad here. We've got 5 hats on top of each other, but you could just add 3, you could add a couple. And I just think, like I say, it's just a fun design. And I get to talk to you about our masking sheets. So I hope you make yourselves nice and comfortable. Plump up those cushions. Get your brew ready. Now I'm going to put this. It's so large, look, you can't see the whole thing in one go. I went a bit mad. But anyway, that's me. So what I thought we'd look at is the masking sheets. And these are the Lavinia Masking Sheets, and it's just a fabulous way of making masks that you can reuse. You can cut it with your scissors, with your die cuts or with your punches, and it's A4 sheets and you get 4 of them. So honestly, absolutely brilliant stuff. So what I tend to do is we're going to use the new stamp, the topper. So I've cut myself a piece that sort of size. I tend not to use the whole sheet because I'm a crafter and obviously we don't like waste, do we? We literally use the bits that we do. So we're going to make ourselves a mask to start off with. So I'm just going to bring my copy of paper in, you know what I'm like, and I'll get my stamp. So this is the topper, one of our lovely new stamps. And the first thing to say is we're going to stamp on the tissue side. That's the sticky side. That's the side you're going to make your mask out of. This clear side, the acetate, that's just the carrier. So I'm going to use my black, my Nocturne, and ink my stamp up. And then just take it. Better make sure I've cut a piece big enough, haven't I? That will be funny, won't it? And we'll stamp it. Now, the first thing I have to say for me to bear in mind is that it does take longer, the ink, obviously VersaFine Clear, a slower drying ink, and it does take longer to dry on the masking sheet. So I just give it a bit of a blot, and I'll tell you why. Because when I'm cutting it out, you see, look, the amount of ink that's come off. Can you see that there? I don't want to get ink on my fingers because obviously this design, we've got quite a bit of white space, and I'm going to do my best today to see if we can create another one and keep that amount of white space. So I've got my inky binky here at hand. Now, it's really easy to cut out. I'm not going to cut it all out because I've already got one cut out. But if I just show you, look, little pair of scissors. So easy to cut out. Now, you could, if you want, I cut mine out in various stages, look. But if you wanted, you could cut it out in one, and then you've almost got the mask, the inner and the outer. So that's one option. But I've obviously got 2 that I've already cut out just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to put those there carefully. And we're going to start our design. I've got a piece of card ready, and this is multifarious card, and it is 5 by 9 inches. And that's just because, as I say, I wanted to get the toppers on here, and I wanted to put 5 just because I could. So we'll have a go at this, and we're going to start stamping. And this is one of those things where you have to think of which one to stamp first. Now guess, am I going to start at the top or the bottom or in the middle? What do you think? We could have a poll, couldn't we? You could answer me. So I'm actually going to start at the top, and I reckon my top one is going to go somewhere there. Well, it's going there now. And what I'm going to do, get myself this piece of copy of paper, and each time I stamp, I'm going to blot it. Then I'm going to take one of my lovely masks that I've already made, peel the backing off, and then just stick this over the top. There we go. Then we'll ink up again. And again, I'm using the black, the Nocturne. And I need to think about this. So I think we'll go sort of that sort of angle for the next one. Yeah, we'll go there. Now, it is quite thin tissue paper, so there isn't much of a ridge. If you use a thicker paper or card, you can get a ridge, but even so, I'm going to be mindful to just stamp a little bit heavier on that bit and then lift up. So once again, just going to blot that and on the hat. And then I'm just going to peel this mask off, and there we go. Can you see? So we've got the lovely hat on top and the hat underneath. And then we'll place this one on again, so it is reusable, so you can use it a few times. So I'll pop that one on. Going to ink up again. Let me think. Stay down. Behave. This one I want this sort of way, so we'll pop that there. And again, I'm just being mindful where that overlaps. Again, come in and mask it. Just, not mask it, blot it. And again, this is just copy paper, it's not blotting paper. It's just, look, we do get a bit of ink off, and I really don't want to get it, as I say, if I get it over my hands, I want to try and keep much white space as I can. So lift that up. And again, as I say, you could just do 3, but we'll keep going. And it's like everything, it's just a recipe. So in my little recipe, I'm going to put repeat. Just do the same again. Again, I'm just inking up. And then we'll come in with another one at this angle. Maybe just... I have to say, I love these, and for me it's just something, it's using this new stamp, but not particularly in the way that everybody else is using it, and that's what I find fascinating. I love to see all the different designs that people come up with, and I must admit, do have a look. Mags has done our lovely Mags Barrett has done a fantastic one with hat pins and lace, and I just love the fact that you can, you know, make the stamp look different by just doing different things with it. And for me, that's the beauty of stamps. They're just a tool so that we can then use them. And the last one, and the good thing is I want to show you how, you know, it sticks. We can use it again and again. Right, that one I think I've not quite got it down. Now you'll obviously spend a bit longer lining it up perfectly. I'm just mindful that you don't want to spend all evening with me. Although you might want to come in. Instead of a brew, maybe fancy a glass of wine or something, some nibbles. Now this, I'm just going to bring my copy paper in as well, because I want this one straight-ish, she says, there. And again, a bit of an oomph at the top. I'll lift that off. We'll give that a blot as well. Just because when I take this off, there we go. And I just think that is such a fun thing to do. And what I'm going to do is give the whole thing belt and braces. Let's give it another blot. Can relax a bit now. I mean, you could leave it like that if you wanted, couldn't you? But I couldn't resist looking at my stamps and thinking about all the different stamps that I've got to add to it. But what we'll do first, we'll just add a little bit of colour to this, I think, and then we'll add some stamping around it. So we'll just add a little bit of grounding to our... I don't want my hats floating, so I'm going to come in with my elements, and it's graphite. I really seem to be championing this graphite at the minute. I love it. And this is the little number 3 brush, again, perfect. So we'll just add a little bit of grounding just under. Now, you could use your larger brush for this, but I've got a plan that I want to do next, so I'm going to use the smaller brush, so I thought I might as well start off with that. Lovely. And we'll give that a wipe. Again, Mr. Inky Binky, before I put it away. The main thing today is keeping cleaner hands as possible. And then we're just going to add a little bit of colour, not a lot. And I just want to almost take the whiteness off the hat. So I'm just using my grey ink on my little brush and almost painting with it, because I just want that mere suggestion of colour. And when I lift this a bit closer, you probably can't see at the minute. Probably think the ink's not doing much. But when I bring it closer, I mean, I could use paint and my ink and I could paint it on, but I almost don't want definite colour. I just want almost a little bit of depth to the design without adding too much colour. Let me have a look. And I love these little brushes. They are just perfect for this. Just a little bit more across there. So if I bring that a bit closer, can you see? I know it's not easy, it doesn't show up well because it is so pale, but it just takes away that starkness and it doesn't look as white. So I just think that gives me a bit more depth. But just to make that depth even better, we're going to get our pastel pencils. And I'm going to get the black. And we'll just add a little bit of shading. So we'll just draw a line under each top hat look. And again, making it thicker in the middle. Biodegradable cotton bud, and just smudge it. Again, you could use your fingers to smudge it, and quite often I do. But like I say today, I want to try and keep my fingers as clean as possible. So can you see that just makes that hat pop a little bit more? But also if you have misstamped here a little, and I'm not saying you will do, but I know it's something I'm liable to do, it will just hide it a little. And we like these things that just hide things a little, don't we? Well, I do anyway. I'm all for a good bit of hiding. There we go. And I'm just doing that on each one. And hopefully you can see, if you look, the difference between how we look with the shade and without. So we'll come in and do this one. And again, smudge this one. Next one. And the pastel pencils are just perfect for this. And for me, I just love the fact when it smudges, it just looks more like a shadow. And then we'll add a little bit under here, under the base. And we've already got our sort of landscape, but I think the shadow will just add to that as well. I like the two together. And look at that, for me, that bit of depth really makes all the difference. Simple. I like these things that are sort of simple but effective. Right, so we'll pop that over there. And let's add a little bit more stamping. So if we come in with our bird set first. Now I want to be mindful to lean on my kitchen towel because I don't want to get, as I say, I'm conscious, let's keep this area clean. So I'm going to have one little bird at the top, and I may just get my head over, so I'm sorry if I do. I just want to try and get his feet just on here. So if my head comes over, I do apologise. You'll see that funny white hair. Oh, there we go. Just so I can get him on the top, look. Give that a wipe. And then we've got one facing the opposite way. But when you're stamping something like the bird and you want his feet actually on the hat, it's better if you go right over the top. You've got more chance of actually almost planting his feet in the right place. Like that, look. But if I'd have missed, if there was a bit of fresh air in between the two, not to worry, I would have just got my fine liner and drawn him longer feet. Do you know, I do think somebody should have done that when I was born. Draw me some longer feet, some longer legs. Right, the mice. So I think we're going to use, I think this one is, let me just check, I think this is Tango. And I'm thinking he's going to hang, yeah. So you can have so much fun with these. And they're just crying out for, I mean, you could put the cogs in their arms. They could be taking cogs to the top of the hats. And I'm thinking, let's just swing him right off this one here. Thinking he's having a whale of a time. Oh, look at that. He's definitely loving that. And then I'm just going to get another mouse. Now, I think this might be Mo. And I'm thinking if we go up here, look, we can get feet on two places of the hat at the same time. Well, that's the theory. So she looks like she's not swinging, she's actually climbing up. She's got her feet attached. She's very clever. No hands. She's going, look at me, no hands. Well, that's the idea. Let's see. So 1 foot there, 1 foot there. In fact, I think her arm might be just hanging on to the hat at the top. Oh yeah, she's just hanging on, look. So again, give her a wipe. And you could literally, you could use as many of your, I mean, look how that is building up. But I sort of looked round for different things and I thought I love the bells off the bell set. So again, just bear with me. I'm just going to turn my work. You know me, you want it as easy as it is for you. And I'm thinking, well, hang it off here. So I need to remember just to be mindful, don't I? So when I've inked the bell up, look, need to, oh yes, it's long, so I need to put it at there. Now look, I've just slightly not quite got it, so not to worry, because all we'll do is add a little bow there. There we go, where the bell's attached. Be lost without my black fine liner pen. Put the bell back, and then I've got the fairy charms, and I'm going, let's have a heart on this side. So again, turn that round, and we're going to hang the heart from, do you think this one? Whichever one I need. my copy paper. Just cut the ends. I'm just going to clean that ink with my Inky Binky. And then if I just put my copy paper there, and then I'll put it at an angle there. Right, let's have a look. Let's just give that all a blot. Again, so important to blot. And then, how's that looking? I've got to be honest, I think that looks great fun. So, black fine liner, and we'll just add a couple of these, just so it looks like there's movement. Oh, look at that. So we can see them swinging. Now, we need our roses on here. Now, just before we add the finishing touches on here, if you remember last week, I've got my tin. And you know me, I love using scraps of paper. So again, I save every scrap of paper. And I know you do too. And we've got the gorgeous rose set. And that's 2 lovely stamps, which I'm just going to put on my block, look. And I've got to be honest, every scrap of paper I've got, I'm determined this year to use up. So I would just stamp my roses all the way along. And then what to do is put the lid on that. Put all my scraps in my little tin, look. And so I will have pieces like this. And I'm easy colour. And if you remember, I think we did this yesterday. This one, sorry, is Emperor Red, and it's the elements. And I've got another of these little, I'm really into the little brushes. Get the red and literally colour. And I'm taking the ink direct, look, just like that. And this, for me, is another lovely little cheat, lovely little way of adding colour. And then the roses are so easy to cut out. But I keep in my tin. And I've got some cut out here, look, ready. And I've got one of the little butterflies cut out ready. So if I've got 5 minutes, she says, this one won't. Just come here, will you? Being a tinker. It's hiding under the butterflies. Look, we've got some purple ones in there. When I've got 5 minutes, I just cut out various roses, butterflies, and then they're in my tin ready for when I need an embellishment. So useful. So I'm going to put those there. I'm going to use those in a minute. And then what we're going to do, let's just add some white, some little white highlights to our design. Now, where's my bit of, just for that, make them nice. We don't want them, again, it's just that pastel pencil again. And I'm not going to overdo it, but for me, it just gives a little bit more depth. Just gives them a bit of character somehow. And again, a quick smudge. And I think for the lacing, again, I'm going red. This is going to be very monochromatic. I'm really into this monochromatic with a touch of red. So I'm coming in with a gel pen. And I know you can lace these if you're somebody who uses a needle and thread. But for me, I've got to be honest, my gel pen's definitely a quicker way to go. Believe you me, you want to sit and watch me sew. Now you could do different coloured thread on each hat, couldn't you? I'm just going to do the same. Yeah, I'm just going to alter the bands though. And obviously at home you'll take a little bit longer with your colouring than me. There's so much you can do with these. I just love the fact that, you know, it's like your own imagination. I mean, I just think stories up in my head. You know, it's like how the birds are sat here and how the mice I mean, like I say, I thought, shall I put a rose so the mice is actually climbing up to put the roses on the hat? So many things you could do. I wonder if you could, candles in the top, almost make it like a birthday cake, a 3-tier birthday cake. And you could put, we've got the numbers, haven't we? So the mice could be holding the numbers. So obviously if somebody was 21, there could be a 2 and a 1. I mean, that would look lovely. So we've got that. Yeah, so I like that. So let's just add our roses. And again, it's this bippity boppity glue. I've been practicing because they were laughing at me at the extravaganza because I can't say it. I say BB, I give in. So I've been really focusing and saying it slowly. But I just worry I'm going to say it wrong. So we'll add the roses there. Now, you could add some more if you wanted. As I say, you could do the hats different colours. I'm just going to turn it round because I'm going to add the butterfly here. But I just want to draw the antennae on first because I've cut them off because I'm a bit naughty. No, we need them in the middle there. When I cut them out, I find it easier to cut them off. But then I have to remember to draw them back in. Otherwise, my poor butterfly will be flying in circles. And we don't want that. So let's just put him there. And we're going to add a little bit of glitter. So remember, stickles can be a bit rude, bit of wind. So we're going to put it on our mat, just in case it spits at the card. And I've got a water brush here, but it hasn't got any water in, it's just dry. And I'm just going to paint my stickles on exactly where I want it. Do you know what? Let's add a little bit on the heart there and a little bit on the bell. Perfect. We'll wipe that up and then I don't put my mitts in it. Now we need a sentiment. On my original, I put the word top hat because I just thought obviously top hats. Now, let me see. I'm thinking, what should we have? Clockwork Dreams, I think. Oh, It's a Matter of Time. Or Masquerade. Oh, do you know, so many lovely, no, Clockwork Dreams. So many lovely sentiments we could have. I'm just thinking the colours. I think the colour works well with this. And we're just going to put it down here. Again, holding it with my scissors, just so I can see exactly where I like it. And we'll add a black frame. And if you're wondering what this bit of tape is, I've got 2 pens and one I've just bought. This is my new one. So I know this is my new one. My other one, it's not ready for throwing out yet, but it's not as good. So I'm a bit sad like that. Are you the same? I'm terrible at throwing things out, even when I know I should. And then the last little thing, we can get rid of this. I just want to add some little splats. Now, this you don't have to do, but I'll tell you what, this is ideal if you've got any little finger marks on here. Now, we've done well today, look. We haven't got any. And I've got to be honest, I do think these hats, the shade in there, it's lovely because they do look as though they're on top of each other. But we'll just add a couple of little flicks. So some graphite onto my mat. Now I've got to be honest, I know red is my accent colour here, but the flicks in red for me, they look a bit like blood. And yes, I did whisper that, so please don't message me and say your sound went. It's just I'm not keen on red splats. Just looks like one of the mouse has cut itself or something. So we're going to go grey. But like I say, if you did have a finger mark on here, the beauty of it is you've got grey ink that you can splat. But also, you've got a butterfly there, haven't you? So you could even add another butterfly. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overcook it with that. Clean that up. And I have to say to the lady that I met the other weekend, to your husband who's watching, I'm sorry, this is on my mat and I have tried to clean it off. I don't know what it is. I think it's glue with ink on and it won't come off. So I'm very sorry. My mat is a little bit dirty, which is funny because I don't like dirty things, do I? But I have tried, but it don't want to come clean. So I'll clean it as best I can. Believe you me, this is the clean version. So there we have the one we've just made, and it's so tall, I'm hoping we can just get the whole of the design on. And this is the one that we made earlier. See if we can get them side by side. Obviously this one is just with a black background, but I'm hoping that's just given you some idea. And I've got to be honest, for me, the mask, because it's reusable and it's sticky, I keep mine on the back of the acetate that I keep my stamp on. So I'll just be popping that on the back of the acetate, and then it's there, cut out ready for when I use this stamp again, the topper. So thank you very much for joining me. Have a lovely weekend when it arrives. Have fun with these stamps. Honestly, that's what it's all about. And if you do a design similar, please tag me in. I'd love to see what you do. I'd love to see what your mice get up to. You take care, everybody. Thanks for all your lovely comments. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.